I've always kind of felt a little bit like an imposter. You know, up there performing and everything. It's not my feelings. I've learned so much more from Martin than I even knew. But a lot of the time it was like I felt like, you know, I really got to prove something. The Soulsavers thing has become my second band. It's a real thing.
You came to me with open arms to take away my fear. I took you in and you stayed a while. You lived with me right here.
We met in 2009.
You told me to believe.
Yeah, it'll be 6 years in a few days' time.
It's gone by really quick. Well, first of all, let's just go back a little bit. Like, I was a fan of what Rich was doing. Some record he had particularly made with Mark Lanigan called It's Not How Far You Fall, It's the Way You Land. Found it all quite revealing.
Wanna see a revival tonight, Lord, let there be a revival.
I met Dave like in '92. We were friends for a long time. And that's how that all kind of melted together, like Soulsavers, Dave Gahan. And I ended up calling Dave and I said, hey, we'd love to do an opening spot for Depeche.
I was like, okay, you would do that. And so I went to Martin in my band and said, look, I really like this band. And we were looking for people to come on tour with us. And the next minute they're out with us for the next 3 months
Something
or whatever
like that,
it was,
yeah.
something like that. So I'd finished that, come off the road, and you're kind of like flat out for a couple of months just staring at the walls because suddenly you don't have any purpose anymore. You've had 3 years of purpose and then suddenly you don't, and it's weird. Sure enough, I got a call from Rich and he said, you know, I've got something I can send you and are you interested? So I said, send it to me and I'll see if, you know, I'm feeling it and see what happens. Having this music sent to me, I was sort of able to dig in places that for some reason I haven't before. Once I started getting into it, it sort of helped me to dig my way out of that. I continue writing all the time, so I've been fortunate enough to work on things that have just really enabled me to grow as a songwriter as well and an artist. After Rich has given me these great ideas, and without him, I don't, you know, it's like I'm just, you know, floating around here, but suddenly the ideas I've got floating around my head make sense.
It's almost effortless. We don't have an agenda or a plan or anything of what we're trying to achieve, of doing something. It's just the stuff that I naturally, you know, come up with, Dave naturally sounds great on, and I naturally like what he does.
My dear.
That process continued for about a year, and by the end of that year, we realised we had more than enough for what could possibly be, you know, a great record.
I took part in the album, the first album that Dave did, about 3 years ago with the Soulsavers, and I met Martine 2009, I think.
Rich really put the band together and the, you know, everything. He's the facilitator of this thing. And he's really good at that.
It's a very easy process.
Yeah.
You have to keep reminding yourself that kind of, because sometimes you feel like, well, it shouldn't be that easy. Like, it should be hard work to kind of, you know, achieve something that's good.
Somebody's gonna go. First objections!
We had some ideas left over from the last record that felt great still. They weren't left over because they weren't good enough to make it onto it. It was just, we ran out of time. And then the next thing you know, you've got like a little pile of ideas and it's like, I guess we're making another record.
We're making another record.
Light is light. shines, yeah, it shines down, it shines on you. When you look around.
We're trying to work it out, how many days do we need to record the album, all of that, and I said, we can do it in one day. We'll do the whole album, we'll do all the vocals one day. And they were a little bit like, are you sure? I said, with the team that I've got, yeah, we can do it. And literally, we recorded about 10 tracks, I think, in one day.
Yeah, it shines down, it shines on you. Yeah, it shines on you. Let it shine on. Thank you.
Somehow together we're on the same page. We know where we're trying to get. It's really a love of the same kind of music as well. A lot based in gospel and blues, and space, a lot of space.
Space is the atmosphere of the record. A lot of musicians, they have this kind of drive to want to fill up all of the space in the record with different kind of things and make this huge wall of sound. But I've always been more drawn to bands that use space as an instrument. And you know, by doing that, you create atmosphere for the instruments that you do use, and particularly the voice.
It's where I wanna be. Home, 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 home. It's where I wanna be now.
It's great to go into a studio and you know exactly what is required, and they tell you, yeah, just sing that and that's it. But going in with Dave and Rich is a different experience because they give you that room to create.
And the tunes have to be played right, but there's a lot of headroom for them to rise up as far as they could possibly go.
You know, like nowadays bands record and they edit every little bit and every little mistake and every wrong note, and on this record none of that was really done. It was just like make it sound and feel like we're in a room together.
Why did you guys decide to tour on this album? I know you didn't tour on the last album.
It feels like, you know, the kind of thing that needs to be seen live. Like it's a, you know, it's kind of, if you're making such a live sounding record, and it does feel like, you know, when you listen to it, it's the sound of a band playing live. It's got all of the flaws and mistakes and glitches that happen when you play live, we left on the record. And to do that, you know, a couple of records like that in the studio and not tour them is kind of mad. I think it's important to play music in venues that were built to have music played in them, and that's a rarity nowadays. You don't go for the room that you can get the most amount of people in. You go, you know, it's about putting on the best show that you can possibly do.
When it comes together and when it feels like right, it's really exciting. It's live music. We looked at pictures of the theatre in New York. It was to find like a little theatre or some kind of a place that's already got an atmosphere and a history. And these venues, it encourages us to communicate. And that's also what's really special about this.
It's very spiritual, I think. This is what's happening with this band.
It's been a very organic, like pulling people in from all the different things, but all connected in a way. In a weird way, Dave's kind of, you know, we have a ghostly past, but also we've been each other's angels many times.
You know, angels to me sort of represents like all the people around me that I get these sort of messages from. We always have that. I think it's always around you. It's just if you're really listening. So that's the angels, but the ghost part of it is really based in memory. It's memories, and I really feel strongly about that. That's all you really have. As you get older, you realise that these are the most important things. I think with music, and it's always informed me other people's music as well, of like where I am. Look, I'm still obviously looking for my place in this world, and you know, we all are, aren't we?
And the important thing that I'm trying to learn today is that just be in the moment.
Sing your song, sing out for me, give it